Okay, so a lot of times whenever we have these feelings or impressions from something we hear or from something we read, and there's like this deep connection, there's this resonance, a lot of times what's going on here is we're actually having past life memories and we don't even realize it. And so when something resonates with you, when you say, this really resonates with me, in essence, what you're saying is that something about it on an energetic level is connecting with something within you on a deep level that goes beyond the mind. And so here's the thing, the mind is trying to grasp, it's trying to understand what this resonance is, what this feeling is, but it can't, because the mind is on a different level. And past life memories, for the most part, go beyond the level of the thinking mind. They go beyond the level of these surface level feelings and emotions. A lot of times, past life memories are coming from the heart space, because the heart knows no time. And so we can have, this is actually also the place where deja vu occurs and synchronicities. So all these spiritual elements of the journey that we experience on a daily basis, like the synchronicities and the past life memories that we don't even realize, they're all happening from the heart space, which again is timeless. But when you hear something, when you read something that really resonates with you, and it's this deep impression, it's almost like this gut feeling of, gosh, I can't explain it. That's the mind. I can't explain it, but something within me knows that I've kind of somehow, some way, I've always known this. And it really hits home. And it brings me clarity. It brings me peace. It brings me understanding. But this is an understanding that goes beyond the intellectual mind. It's intuitive. It's coming from the heart. All right. And so when you have these experiences of deep resonance, this can, not always, but this can be a sign that you are indeed experiencing a past life memory. But it's not memory in the sense of the way we think about it with the mind and having certain images and certain aspects to it. No, this again is something more energetic. It's coming from the heart, so it's more feeling. It's a sense. It's a sense beyond the five senses, and we just know. And so when this happens, what do we do with it? Well, again, it's important to realize that this could be a sign. This could be pointing to something much more than the mind is telling us that it is. And the mind will always try to talk us out of really like anything spiritual. That's just the essence. That's the nature of the carnal mind. But when you're meditating, I've talked to people who have said things like when they start meditating, they feel like they start to have these occurrences of resonance, and they start hearing things, they start reading things that just make sense on a deep level. And again, it's going beyond the surface level analytical mind. And so what's actually going on? Well, when you're meditating, what you're doing is you're shifting from living in the headspace into the heart space. And so your whole life is centered from the heart, and that's why all these things are showing up in your life, and you're having these connections, and you're having these experiences of resonance. And remember, resonance is remembrance. And this is also when people start experiencing things like synchronicities. Things start lining up, they start seeing numbers, they start seeing these patterns that just pop out at them, and they don't know what's going on. And even with synchronicities, this is another element of the spiritual journey where you have some kind of external occurrence and the mind is trying to understand it. The mind is trying to make sense of it, but the mind can't, because it's something that is surpassing the mind's understanding. And so if you're someone that has experienced synchronicities, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And this can also help you with this whole world of past life memories, because in this whole world of past life memories, it's very similar. You have this knowing, this heart knowing that goes beyond the mind, and the mind's trying to figure it out, the mind's trying to make sense of it, but it can't. And so it's the same with synchronicities, the same with past life memories. Now, some people have past life memories that are very vivid, and they're very descriptive and detailed, and it does feel like a memory like we would have in this particular, in your current incarnation. Okay, so sometimes that happens, but a lot of times it's what I'm saying, it's this, it's not so much that, it's more of this feeling, it's more of this impression. And what you've learned in past lives translates over to these feelings and these deep knowings. And so a lot of people that have like this inherent wisdom, and they're trying to figure out, like, why was I born with all this wisdom? Where is this coming from? Well, again, it's going beyond the mind, because see, the mind's trying to figure it out. The mind's asking the question of, where did I get this inherent wisdom from? Doesn't really know, can't pinpoint it. But something deeper within you knows. What is that something deeper within you? Well, that's your soul, that's your spirit, whatever you want to call it. And it knows, but it's not an intellectual knowing. But that's why, like, some people, like I said, are just born with this divine wisdom, or this whatever talents or gifts or abilities they have, and they don't know why they're so good at it. They don't know why there's a flow to their lives. Well, it's because it's just part of something they've already learned, and they're living from that lesson, they're living from that experience on that deeper level of beingness, on that deeper level of heart space. And this is also something that is related to dreams. And so when you're dreaming at night, a lot of times you'll have dreams where you'll have maybe you're dreaming that you're in some location, you're in some place, and it just feels so familiar, and you don't know, in the dream, maybe you're trying to remember, you're trying to understand, why does this place, why does this house or this city or this land seems so familiar to me? Well, this again is another example of some kind of past life memory that's manifesting itself in a dream. But even in that dream, it's coming from the subconscious, something that is deep embedded within you. And so the conscious mind doesn't know, it's trying to figure it out. And then eventually what happens with these instances a lot of times is that the mind will just talk yourself out of anything deeper than the mind's level. But this is just something that the mind does. This is part of the ego. My advice to you is don't listen to that. My advice to you is to press into these deeper impressions and to really meditate on what in life gives you these feelings of resonance, whether it's through a dream or a vision, or just, like I said, something that you hear, something that you read that touches the deepest part of your soul, and you're like, gosh, yes, that's it. I've always known that, and I don't know how to really explain it or make sense of it. But finally, I've been searching, or I've been seeking for all these years, and I just read this poem. And in this poem, it was like everything now just unfolds, and I see the whole picture clearly now. Why is this? Well, because it's not that in that moment that you learned something new. It's actually the opposite. You just remembered what you have always known to be true. And this is what the spiritual journey is all about. It's not about learning something new. It's not about attaining some kind of external knowledge. No, the spiritual journey is all about remembering. And the remembering comes in the form of resonance. It's deep, it's beyond the mind, it's coming from the heart space, but it's very life-changing because you just know, that you know, and this knowing is experiential, it's intuitive. And the more these things start to occur in our lives, the more we start going with them, the more they lead us along the path that we need to be going down in this particular incarnation. So everything becomes a lesson, everything becomes our teacher. And we learn to stay more grounded and present in the moment. and the synchronicities start to occur more frequently. And the synchronicities become almost like these little urges to keep going in the direction that we're going in. Joseph Campbell says this. He says, "Follow your bliss, and the universe will open up doors for you where there were only walls." And so when we start following our bliss, our excitement, our passion in life, all of a sudden these synchronicities will start popping up out of nowhere. We'll start seeing all these numbers like 1111 or 222 or 333 or 444, whatever, these certain sequences and patterns or names or synchronicities can be so many different things. And the thing with synchronicities is that they're very unique to each being. Okay, and so the way you know it's a synchronicity is because, again, you feel that resonance, you feel that deep connection, which means it's something that you've experienced in past lives. And when you see it, it pops out at you. And there's like this like split second where time stands still and you're like, there it is. It pops out. Okay? And so as you're following your bliss, you're following your excitement, you're going along the way, all of a sudden these synchronicities are showing up to confirm that this is the direction you need to keep going. And the universe, God, will open up doors for you, but you have to walk through those doors. And the synchronicities, the resonances, are what help you. They give you that nudge that you need to walk through the open door. And then that's when the magic happens. All right? So don't ignore these signs. Write them down. I highly encourage you to write them down, to meditate on them, to contemplate on them, to maybe share them with some people that you feel like you should share them with. But be careful with that. Make sure that you're following your intuitive heart when you start sharing stuff like this with certain people. And then see what happens from there. But know that there's so much more going on in your world and your external reality than you think. And what you think is out there somewhere is what you think is the outer world, the external, is actually just a reflection of your inner world, of your subconscious. And that's where synchronicities are coming from. And that's where these past life memories are coming from, or these resonances or whatever it is that we're experiencing out there that we think is something new, but we had this deeper connection with. It's all interconnected, and it's all this beautiful dance, this tapestry of what existence really is. And what we're supposed to do is simply not do anything, because it's not about doing, it's about simply being. It's about going with the flow, allowing the life force energy within us to do its thing. And this is where, like I said, this is where the magic happens. So yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I know this is kind of far out for maybe some of you who are new to some of the things I said in this video. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, comments, questions. Leave them all in the comment section below. And I would love to hear what you think, and I'd love to attempt to answer any of your questions about this. All right. So I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, informative, or insightful, please leave a thumbs up at the bottom of the screen, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching again, and I will see you next time.